Okay guys, so we're going to talk about stem and leaf plots. So this is your notes page. So you can see that when you make a stem and leaf plot, you're going to take a set of data, so a set of numbers. And the first thing we did is we put it in least to greatest order. And then we're going to take it and we're going to break it apart into tens and ones place. So like let's say for the example 32, if we take the 3, and that's a stem, goes in the tens place. And then we have our 2, which goes in the ones place. So stems are going to be your tens and leaves are going to be your ones. Okay, so let's open it up and get started. So it says each data value is broken into a stem and a leaf. Okay, the stem is the first digit or digits of a value. Okay, and the stem values are listed vertically on the left from least to greatest. Okay, so vertically is up and down, and again it's going to be on the left from least to greatest. Okay, and then the leaf values are the last digits of the data value, and the leaf values are again listed this time horizontally on the right side. So you can see these are our stems vertically listed, and then the leaf is going to be your horizontal listing here. Okay, so basically it says the stem and leaf plot must have a key that explains what the stems and leaves represent. Okay, so we have our stem and leaf plot, and so you can see that a key is given that tells you 8/1 indicates 81%. So if I was to look at this first row, 7/0 would indicate 70%. And then you'd have another 70 and a 71 and a 74 and a 75. And I know those are all percentages because when I look at my key, it tells me that they indicate a percentage. Okay, and you can do that for each row. That would be 81, 85, and 89%. Then you have 90, 91, 92, 92, 92, and 94%. And then you have 100% in that last row. So it says you must write your numbers, and we always use least to greatest. Okay, so I'm actually going to write out all of my numbers from this stem and leaf plot, least to greatest, here underneath. And I know they're all percentages, so I'm going to leave the percent sign off just for space. So I have a 70. Remember, it's the same numbers. So I have 70, 70, 71, 74, 75. That's my first row. Then I move on to the 80s. I have an 81, an 85, an 89. Then I move on to my third row. I have a 90, a 91, a 92, a 92, a 92. Gotta keep going. I'm gonna loop around. I have a 94, and then last I have 100. Okay, so then they want us to find the median, the mode, and the range. So if you've never heard these words before, we're going to talk about what they mean. So the median actually just means the middle. Okay, so we're going to find the middle of our numbers. The mode is the one that repeats the most. And the range is the big number minus the small number. Okay, so this is why it's so important that we put them in least to greatest order in our list. So to find the middle, I'm literally just going to start from the beginning and the end and cover up, and you can see like 70 and 100, and then I would just keep moving 70 and 94, then 71, 92, 74, 92, 75, 92, 81, 91, 85, 90. So the middle of this data, if you put it in least to greatest, is 89. So the median for my data is 89. So then I look, and I'm looking for the mode. The mode is the one that repeats most often. So let's see, I have a 70 that repeats, and I have a 92 that repeats. Well, 92 repeats 3 times, whereas 70 only repeats twice. So 92 is going to be our mode because it repeats the most times. Okay? And then the last one, we have our range, and range is the biggest minus the smallest. So my biggest number was 100, and my smallest number was 70. And again, least to greatest really helpful there. So we literally do 100 minus 70, and the range of my data is going to be 30. Okay, so that's median, mode, and range. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to look at the stem and leaf plot shows the amount of guests that attended on different days of a movie showing. So you can see, excuse me, that 2/4 means 24 guests. So I can go to my data, and I can see that I have a 12 and a 12, a 13, a 14, a 15, 15, and 15, because this is my tens place, and then I have my ones. Okay, and that continues on into my data. So it says write the data from least to greatest, which is really important. So we're going to write out our stem and leaf plot data, and we're going to write it out. I'm going to write pretty small. So I have 12, 12, 13, excuse me, 14, 15, 15, 15, 20, 21, 21, 24, 25, 26, and then I move on, 30, 30, 32, 33, 38, 38, and then the last one is 40. So it says, how many days did the movie show? So if I read this statement again, it says the stem and leaf plot shows the amount of guests that attended on different days. So each one represents, each of the numbers represents a day. So if I count how many days, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they recorded guest attendance on 20 different days. All right, so now let's go through these true and false questions. So it says less than 20 people attended half the time. So we're looking for less than 20. So my numbers less than 20 would be 15 on, right? We can't count 20 because 20 is not less than 20. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of the days less than 20 people attended. Is 7 half of 20? Is 7 half of 20? No, so this is a false statement. All right, the next one says there were 6 days that 30 to 39 people attended. So I'm going to look, and I'm going to say, okay, 6 days, 30 to 39. So here's 30 all the way up to 39. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 6 days, and that was 30 to 39 people. So that is a true statement. Okay, so then our next one says there were 4 days that 0 people attended. So if we look up at our list, do we have any days where there was no one? There's no day where there's a 0. I have zeros in my 40, and my 30, and even my 20, but that's not a 0, that's a 20, and 20 has a 0, so that's not the same thing. So there were 4 days that 0 people attended. That's not true. That is false. Okay. All right, the next one says there was more than one day that only 12 people attended. So when I look, it says more than one where only 12 people. So I have to look up, and I look at my list, and for only 12, I have 2 12s, which means there were 2 days. So is 2 days more than 1 day? Yes, so that's a true statement. All right, the most common amount of guests attending was 15. So when it says the most common, that means the most repeating or the mode. Okay, so I'm looking for 15. So when I go up to my list, I have 15, 1, 2, and 3 days. And I can see that no other number repeats 3 times. So mode is the most common, and so 15 was the most common, therefore that's true. And then the last one says the number of days that 30 people attended was greater than the number of days 38 people attended. So we're looking for 30 people. So for 30 people, I had 2 days, 1 and 2. So they said that that was greater than the number of days 38 people attended. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to look and I'm going to say 38 was also 2 days. So is 2 greater than 2? Because it does say greater than. Is 2 greater than 2? No. 2 is equal to 2. Therefore, that is a false statement. All right, and that's stem and leaves. And you can always Google them on YouTube if you are confused at home, if it's on your homework. So they're very, very common on YouTube. All right, thanks.